Welcome back to Therapy Session. Today I'm here with Cécé.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. How did you sleep?
I slept very good, I think. Woke up a bit too early, but otherwise,
Okay.
splendid.
When do you usually go to sleep?
Well, never before midnight, but it depends a lot if I have to wake up early.
Never before midnight?
Never before midnight.
Wow, okay.
No.
Always been like this or?
Yes, just pretty much. It's
Wow.
awkward going to bed before midnight. I feel
No,
like
no,
it's
it's
still the
actually
middle of the
nice.
day.
I did it for, I think, 3 months. I went to sleep around 9 or 10 and woke up in 5 in the morning always.
How did you feel?
I was very energized.
Okay.
It was nice.
Oh, maybe it's a good thing to do then.
Yeah. Maybe you should try 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, I can try waking up with the birds.
Yeah. How many hours of sleep do you usually need?
Well, if I get less than 8, I'm usually tired. But if I can get more than 8, like 8 or 9 is good for me.
Wow, okay.
I'm a good sleeper. I like to sleep.
Do you dream a lot?
Sometimes I do. I don't always remember what I dream, but I love to dream. It's very funny.
Nice.
Sometimes there's really crazy shit going on. And you wake up and you're like, what's going on in my head?
Who I was with yesterday night. So yeah, okay. So you also then don't go really out partying?
I do, but it's not like my routine. I don't go partying every day.
Okay.
But I do love to party though. Weekends when I don't have to wake up early for work
Okay.
or anything. But it's not like I love to stay up until 10 in the morning or anything. Like even when I go to party, it's usually like, I don't know, until 4 or 5 is fine.
Oh, okay. I
And then
thought
I can
like
go home,
Cinderella,
then I'm
you will
ready.
just run away before 12.
No.
That would be funny
Not
though.
that bad, not that bad.
No, it's not bad though. It's like, it's good to have your own routine and sometimes not to pay attention to what everyone else wants from you. Because that's the only way for you to achieve the things that you want to do. So on that note, like I've watched a few of your videos where you sing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it, especially like this, like the room where the live instruments was playing.
Oh, that's my living room.
It's your living room.
Yes, it's
nice.
my living room.
I was about to ask you, where's that?
Yes, it started as a COVID project because
Okay.
it was kind of, not much was going on. And I at that time I wanted to start something called Music in the Corner, where I was inviting artists to come to the living room and like recording them. And I did it, like a little bit for like, I don't know, few artists, but it's not something that I pursued a lot. And then I kind of recorded myself a lot, my band, some friends.
So you started as a project, this whole thing, and now you keep doing it in your living room, or how is it?
No, not really. Because my possibilities are a bit restricted. So of course I have equipment at home, but the room doesn't sound amazing. It sounds okay, but it doesn't sound like I would like it to sound. Like my bar is a bit higher, so I prefer to go to real studios.
So
when
how
I can.
about a bit soundproofing in that room?
Yeah, but even though it's like how do you call it? Those old DDR Plattenbau, they call it. I don't know how to say that in English.
Okay, I know what you mean. Like
Sounds
these
terrible.
old, okay,
It sounds terrible. When you clap, there's like an echo and everything.
in the room, yeah.
Yeah.
You have high roofs?
No, I
No?
don't. No.
Because
normal, like modern roofs.
okay.
They're not
Should
so
be
high.
quite okay then, because my roof is I think 2 something high, nearly 3 meters high. So when if I would record without any foam, without on my microphone, like you would have some echoes in the background the whole time. So yeah, but because the place where I live in is from the 70s.
Okay.
I don't know. But the moderns should be a bit better though, but yeah. Not really.
No. Yeah, my where I live, it has a dark history though. It's like those old it used to be where Hitler had hit, like his Reichspartei. That's exactly the spot.
Wow.
And then when this was over, they built those Stasi buildings, where the Stasi people were living in. So that's where I live. So it's good karma.
First time you hear this. It's good karma.
No, it's a joke. No, it's a joke.
Okay. So I like your voice a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it sounds like you could do jazz.
Oh,
some slow jazz music.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I imagine when I listen to your voice.
Okay.
How did you start?
I started I was a teenager, I think. At that time, I think I was singing terrible because my brother was regularly coming into my room and telling me, like, please stop this. Luckily, I didn't stop.
Okay.
And I started playing rock music. More or less. Yeah. I used to be like a
instrument
metalhead. Yes, I used to play the electric guitar.
Wow, okay.
I still play the acoustic guitar a little bit, but I don't consider myself a guitarist because I don't have the skill to really be a guitarist. So it's more like an accompanying instrument.
Okay.
My main instrument is the violin, and
nice.
I hope the voice.
Wow.
Yes.
I love the violin though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's beautiful. And then I continued with the different projects. I recorded the first album when I was 21. Nice. While I was living in Spain. I lived in Barcelona for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And there I did an internship in a recording studio where I could record my second album for free, which was amazing. Okay. And for now I have those two and an EP that I published, I think, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
You working currently on any other project, or is it just like toned down a bit for now?
No, I mean, I have a band on the side. I have a Latin jazz band. We have recorded an EP in autumn. And I always try to have my own project as well, which is sometimes a little bit hard because there is work, there is band, there is other stuff to pursue. And sometimes my own project goes a bit, in the back. But I do have an EP I'm currently working on. It's 4 songs. I recorded the first one, but there's still some way to go. I'm trying to find time for that.
Okay. You do it all with your band, or how does it work?
The solo project, I'm doing everything myself. I have a home studio where I kind of record everything, but I'm trying to get things post-recorded. So I'm going to compose everything, but then I'm going to find a drummer and I'm like, hey, could you record the drums for my EP? And I'm going to find a bass player. I'm like, hey, would you like to play the bass for my EP? Something like this. And yeah, I think this style is a little bit different than with my band. So I could ask them as well. But for example, we have a double bass player. And I think it's not exactly fitting the style of the EP because it's a little bit more urban. So that's why I'm trying to find new musicians, also because it always brings new ideas, right? And
new inspiration.
Every new person, exactly. Yeah. Give a new input, new way to play. And it's nice to have something new, like something different.
That's like, and I want to say 2 things at the same time. So you're loyal to your people, but it's also lovely to interact with new people.
Yes, exactly. Like for personal musical development, I guess.
Yeah. It's always good to do that.
Yes.
Even the Wu-Tang Clan split up and then they came together.
Exactly. So sometimes you need some fresh air, and then you go back to your gang.
So how old are you now? My mom always told me don't ask a woman about their age, but
oh, it's fine. I have no problem. I'm 31.
31. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Okay. And you started music when you were 20, you said?
A bit earlier. So my mom's a violinist, and she started to teach me when I was like 5. So I started playing music very young. And then when I was a teenager, I kind of had a rebellious moment. I was like, I don't want to play the violin anymore. I want to do rock. I started to learn the electric guitar. Had a rock band and everything. It was my teenage years. And then I think I've been through different styles throughout my 20s. And now, I love Latin music. I've discovered Latin music for myself when I was in Barcelona, in my time there, between 20 and 25. I was living there. And I still love it and I love to play it. But I also love jazz. I love hip hop. I love soul. And now I'm trying to orientate my solo project a little bit more within those
mix
waters.
it a bit.
Exactly.
Nice. Okay. So where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Berlin. My mom's French and my father's German, so I'm half-half.
Wow. Okay. I could see like British in you.
Oh,
And I
really?
could see Polish in you.
Oh, many people see Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Russian.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes people just walk and talk to me in Russian. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like,
Nice.
sorry, I don't
Surprise.
understand. Yeah, yeah, and they seem disappointed, so I must have some, I don't know, some Russian vibes, Polish vibes there.
How's it for you to approach your projects? Where does the inspiration come from? How do you start?
Well, I write a lot about my own emotional world. Um, but lately I've been trying to write a little bit more about some more political things because I wanted to break out of this this only, you know, like about my feelings, even though I think something that's nice about music or art in general is that you write stuff that where maybe you start with yourself, but then other people might identify themselves with what you're going through or your feelings, and so this is creating space where yeah, we create space for people to kind of be like in their own therapy, right? They listen to a song, gives them goosebumps. They say, "Oh yeah, I can identify," and then suddenly they have space for their feelings, maybe in a world where feelings are viewed as secondary. So that's something really nice, which I don't want to stop to pursue. But I also thought that there's a lot of thing to say further than that, further than just the emotional things, and it's good to call out some bigger problems maybe.
Mm. And
And
it's
it's good.
also an emotional thing, like with the political situation, and it's putting pressure on people who live in certain areas of the world. So would kind of be still the same thing because you're probably going to sing about something from your view of point, and someone else will identify still with that and say, yeah, we are oppressed, we cannot do this or do that.
Yes, exactly. And there is a possibility to mix them too, to say, okay, how does that make me feel that this thing is happening in the world? And it's yeah, it's kind of a combination where other people say like, wow, yeah, I feel very bad about this too. Like I feel the you know the sadness or the, you know, sometimes anxiety of you know, watching the news and watching all those terrible things happen, and making us feel like we're not alone with this situation and these feelings, even when we're not always actively in the problem. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, but yeah, it's good to know that we're not alone. I think that's something beautiful about music.
What's more interesting, how did you come up to like go into this political route?
I don't know. I was just realizing maybe being more and more affected emotionally by some things going on, or some things. I don't know. Some things like can become personal. Like I don't know things like I don't know. I've a song that's talking about like feminism and like small discriminations that you can live on a daily basis. It's called subtle violence. Which is something that I have lived and sometimes like some things from my emotional world, but at the same time, the problem is wider, and I know there's probably 50% of the whole population who have suffered similar situations, and so this is where I started with, and also I think listening to a lot of music where I could feel identified with what they were saying somehow, and thinking like that's important. You know, we sometimes we have to be allies. Like it's important to call out things because sometimes being silent is the worst thing we can do.
Was it like also because of the news that you like got more into it, or was it just a time in your life where you paid more attention to it?
I think so. I think it just started with one song, and then I was like, okay, I think I want to write more of those songs. And it was indeed after watching the news. I think I wrote a song called "Caged," and it's basically about feeling caged in your incapacity to solve the problems or to, you know, do something about the things that are happening. You're like sitting on your sofa and watching the news, and you're like, of course you can always do things, but you're not be able to solve the problems, like the wars. You'll not be able to make them stop. And this made me feel really frustrated. It was like, whatever I do, I'm not able to, like make have a major impact on those conflicts, and made me feel caged. So I wrote Caged. Yeah. I think in 2019, yeah. 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 It wasn't about Corona though, but yeah, it was this era. Maybe being more at home, watching more news, maybe giving more thoughts, or being less busy. Because sometimes being busy keeps us from thinking, keeps us from being creative as well, right? When we're too busy, we're working on other things. We don't have the headspace to
do something different
exactly
for yourself. Tell me about your background. How did you grow up?
I grew up, I think, I had a quite nice childhood. I went to like French German schools, like European schools, and the French school in Berlin, which was nice because it was always very international. So I like to think that it helped me kind of, I don't know, grow as a person. And I have two brothers, one older, one younger.
So you're the middle child.
I'm the middle child.
That the parents don't care about.
Well, you're laughing, but no, it's fine. I'm, half.
Okay.
Half, I think. Well, I don't dislike being the middle child,
you have your freedom. That's a good thing.
Exactly. Because the older siblings, they always have like more responsibility.
Exactly.
Or like usually they're like the responsible person of the thing. And the last ones, they like sometimes
they will never grow up.
Exactly, they will never grow up, right? They're the youngest. Sometimes the like the child that has been a little bit getting more attention because they're the last one. And me, I think I have a little bit of both.
Nice.
So I like to think that it's a good balance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't care. It's just like, yeah, okay, do it. I don't care. Yeah, that's a good thing though.
Yeah, totally.
So you have your freedom in your space. And you said you lived in Spain?
Yes.
How did it come up? Like, you just wanted to, you told your parents, I'm going to go now, and they were like, finally, no?
Oh, finally. Well, something like this. I was, I love Berlin, but at this time I was like, I think I want to discover something new because I'm born and raised here. I've never lived anywhere else before. And when I was 18, 19, I was like, okay, I kind of want to, go away, see something else. And I spent the weekend in Barcelona and I totally fell in love with the city. I was like, oh my God, this is like Berlin, but in the south with the sun, like little bit different mentality, but still you have the art, you have the urban energy, the culture. And so I spent the weekend there. It was love at first sight. I was like, okay, I want to live here. And then I did. At the time I studied musicology.
Wow.
And
musicology,
yeah.
This is like psychology, but with music.
Well, yeah, it's I like to think it's what everybody does who kind of wants to do something with music, but they don't know what they're gonna study music. It was my case, at least. Kind of study a little bit of everything, like music ethnology, music like sound engineering, music theory, music history, music industry, like a little bit of everything. So it's a good base knowledge, I'd say. Yeah. And then
and then you were in Spain for how long?
Nearly 5 years.
Wow.
4 or 5 years.
What did you like? What did you do there first? Like,
well, at first I studied like one Erasmus year within the musicology thing, and when I finished, I was like, no, I don't want to go back. I'm just gonna stay. And then I had decided I wanted to do sound engineering, so I started to work for live concerts. Do sound engineering for live concerts while I was studying and making an internship in a studio that was specialized in Latin American music. And that kind of brought me closer to that style, or those styles. It's not like one style, it's like 100 of different styles in Latin music, but kind of...
that spark, there was the spark.
The spark, exactly.
Okay.
Spark, like, oh my God, Latin music's so nice. yes, so I was doing this. I was working in the venue. There's like I I don't know if I like the word world music because I was like, like what's world
There's so
music?
much
It's
more
like
to yeah.
exactly. But yeah, it was like music from different places. So they had I don't know, Salsa Friday, then could be Japanese music or whatever on a Saturday, and then Brazilian music on a Sunday, and then was very very mixed, and it made me discover how to.
Was there also German music?
I've never seen German music
See?
there. Interesting.
It's not world music though.
No. In that case, doesn't count, right, guys?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's where also the inspiration came from, the different types, then the music genre that you went with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe discover a lot of that. And that time I was a bit more technician than I was musician because I was more focused on that, more on like the sound world and on my own music. But it was an interesting time, and it taught me a lot, also about how I wanted things to sound later in my own music. And then I ended up making a master in sound art, which was really interesting as well. That was mainly my activities in Barcelona.
So you are also in the position of mix and mastering your own things?
I mix them. I don't master them because I've never learned it. And also, I kind of like the idea that someone else is going to master what I mixed, because it's always great to have another point of view, right? Another pair of ears. And sometimes I feel like when I mix something, I get so caught up in certain things that I forget the bigger picture. And even if the mix ends up being a good mix, I think it's amazing when someone masters them and then you get them back and they're like, oh yeah, right. Maybe they heard something that I overheard or anything. And so I think it's important to have at least one external person who's going to collaborate. Otherwise, I'm scared I'm just going to get into a tunnel and just do my thing, from the start to the end. And maybe oversee something, or maybe like miss this interaction or this external artistic influence.
That's when my art teacher used to tell me, because when I was painting, she was always telling me, you're too close to the painting right now. Because at some point I was just getting closer and closer, and then she was like, you don't see the whole image. What you have to do, you focus too much on one detail right now. Just step back and then start doing it like this, or approach it like that. And it will make you see the things a bit different, and what you could do overall with the image. Because I was paying so much attention to one detail of the image that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, the rest like that. And then she was like, at some point you won't finish it, or it will take you years until you finish it. So just step back. And it's the same thing. Then for you, it's like stepping back and giving it to someone else.
Yes, exactly.
And also, she made me turn the image around, like upside down, and she was like, paint it like this now. You will have a different feeling for it. And
I like your art teacher.
Yeah, I love her.
Like
she was a very amazing person. And she taught me a lot with these things. So
because it works for everything in life, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're so caught up in one problem, and we're like, we have our head like in something really tiny, and we forget to take a step back and look at the situation from a wider point of view. And we're like, okay, maybe I can solve this problem, like another way. Maybe it wasn't like there's more paths to it. And sometimes we don't know what we want because we're so caught up in one little thing. And it's very nice to just take a step back and take some time to realize things, and they're like, oh, okay, this is the bigger picture. All right.
Sometimes we get caught up in one very little thing, and then we put ourselves so deep into it that we fall into a dark place, which is like, it's not necessary. You just put yourself into that position, and you are responsible for it to come out of it again. So what I tell sometimes, when I was depressed, it was partially my own fault, because I was like, life has no meaning. So I chose to say life has no meaning, even though I read a ton of books that was written all over these books. You choose your own meaning. And I was like, still has no meaning. So I was putting myself into this position. So it's sometimes like that with the problems that we have, that is it's different when it's with someone else. Also, in that moment, you would have to pay attention to the bigger picture. Maybe you said something in a certain tone that they didn't like, that triggered something. But it's always good to have your eyes open and look at the things from a very different perspective.
Yes, exactly.
It will make your mind grow also. You will grow, exactly.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
growth.
Totally. It happened to me like on a wider scale, like a few years ago when I was working in that dubbing company. And I love the work that I do. I love the work itself, but the company was very toxic. Like toxic people was just not a nice space to be in. And I was working there 9 to 5 every day. And I was starting to be miserable. And I woke up in the morning, I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to, I don't want to wake up in the morning. It's so bad. And I didn't know why I was so miserable. I was like, it's just life, right? Having a job, like working is just, everybody does it. Like, why am I so miserable? I don't understand. Why am I so sad? Do I have to do this for the rest of my life? And I started to be really depressed. And then I went to Barcelona for 2 weeks, actually, like still kind of a safe space for me. And then I took some distance and was like, okay.
Here's
The
my
problem is
resignation.
not, like, the problem is not my life or that I hate the job that I do. The problem is the company, and I just quit.
Yeah.
And I've been happy ever
Mostly
since.
like that. Yeah, that's
Yes.
good. And I believe that this type of feeling towards life and jobs and overall already existed way back in the days, but that it was commercialized to this is the perfect life to live. So everyone who hated their job was having this picture in their mind: I will work until I'm 50 or 60, and then I have this house and I have this car. But today's world is very different, especially with all the social media and the capability to just take a plane and fly to somewhere else is different to, you cannot just live that life anymore.
Yes. On like there's two aspects to it. I think on the first there's like the money thing. Like we cannot just buy houses anymore. Like
Yeah.
we might be a generation who are like, will I ever own a property? I don't know
Exactly.
about it.
Yeah.
Even if you're working. So there's that. And also I think it's a shame to postpone your happiness, so to say I'm sacrificing 20 years of my life working hard to be able to afford something material, because life can be over in a heartbeat. We'd never know what's going to happen. And even though it is obviously important to work towards our futures, I think it's I don't know if even more important, but at least equally as important to enjoy the present moment and to create a life where we are happy in the present, because that's something that we forget to do. We live in the past, we live in the future. We forget to live in the present and to create a life that we want to live, that makes us, be happy to wake up every day.
Exactly.
And
we want to own now. That's most people forget that, to own their life right now, and not just like, okay, I'm just going to starve myself for the next 10 years. When I say starve, not necessarily in food, like of emotional things. Say, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because when I'm 50, I could be like this and like that. It's not that easy.
Yeah, and then you never know what happens. Maybe the banks are all getting bankrupt and all
Exactly.
your money's going to
disappear. And then all the money's gone then.
Exactly. And then you've been working your ass off and you're like, okay. It did happen to many people.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I think when I was 16, something like that happened, where a huge company had to close and a few thousand people were out of jobs. And my parents were telling me, like, you have to get a job, you have to do this and do that. I was like, the world is changing. They were like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just one company. I was like, yeah, but it starts with one company. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, I think the world is changing, and it's changing even more. So I don't know, for example, AI, right? AI, I think, is taking over a lot of things. And every time I tell people I'm working in dubbing, they're like, oh, are you scared of AI? And I'm like, I'm not scared of AI. I mean, if AI ends up doing my job, then so be it. I'm going to do something else that's, that I like doing, that I enjoy doing, and then so be it. A lot of people are very stressed about it. They're like, oh my God, we have to protect ourselves from these kind of things, that I think we cannot stop it. Cannot stop change. It's just keep on coming. And I think it's important to learn how to ride the wave instead of trying to fight it, because we can't stop those kind of things.
There are bigger companies that have their hands in it, so they will keep growing and keep changing. It's the same thing. I work as a freelancer for a graphics company, and like suddenly no jobs came in. And I contacted them. I was like, "Is everything all right?" And they were like, "Yeah. Alibaba just bought the company, so now we have no idea how things will keep going or not." So it's not just AI; it's the other countries who have a lot of money who will buy these other companies. For example, like a part of the industry that used to be in Germany is now in China. So it's not, people just think about the AI thing, but it's more than that. It's also those who are around Europe who have all the money. It's like the US, China, and Russia. They all have these kind of the materialistic things to take control of everything. But people are just thinking about, yeah, but AI. But it's
not just that. I think in general, a problem of the rich is not being spread right, I guess. And I'm not a economy specialist, but I think there is a lot going wrong there, where we're creating a world where there's always more for a very, very small amount of people, and then less and less and less for, like the majority. And I think that's creating so many problems, and it's such a stupid thing to do, because then it's about, building walls against instead of bridges kind of thing.
Exactly.
Where
I say it's like modern slavery.
Exactly, modern slavery, conflicts, because people are suffering. People are like, wars, famines, all of these things. It's creating so much damage, even regarding climate change and everything. We're like, why are you doing this? Just spread the thing. Like, what are you going to do with like billions on your account? Like nothing. It's just, you don't need that much.
For me, you look like someone who's meditating a lot.
Oh.
You're calm. Is it like this, or
is it a question if I'm meditating a lot? I have actually. Have I tried meditation once or twice, but not really. I have not been meditating a lot. I'm a calm person. I think, yeah, I'm calm in general. I think I've always been calm, which yeah. For a while I was like, oh my God, maybe, like I'm missing some, like some fire, whatever. Exactly. I need some, and I'm like, oh no, you know what? Maybe it's fine. Everybody has their.
It's your personalities.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's because like you could play in a movie where you just like play the one who is always like levitating and meditating. No. Everyone, calm down.
Exactly. Calm down. Everything's okay.
Nice. Are you a person who is feeling the energy in the room once you enter it, or how are you as a person when you go into a place?
Yes, I think so. I'm very much in need of harmony. I need harmony. I sometimes I'm a bit too conflict avoidant, maybe, because I'm always looking for harmony. Sometimes when there is something I don't like, I'm like, okay, do I really need to go into this conflict or not? But yes, I think I do feel the energies in the room. I'm very sensitive to moods, which is sometimes a good thing, because I can, adapt to someone is going to come up to me and I'm like, okay, I think this is the mood we have right now. So how do I deal with this mood in this specific situation? Yeah, I think
what they call this in, I think is it Thailand? They call it nunchi.
Okay.
Nunchi is someone who is capable of reading the room and the emotions of the other people around her or them. Like, it's a very interesting thing to have, and I feel like a lot of artists have that. Maybe because their creative minds is getting into waves or some energies around their room that will inspire them. So I always feel like a lot of artists have that feeling.
Yeah, I think artists are, for the most part, sensitive people. And a lot of times that's why they are doing art, right? Because they're sensitive to their own emotions, to other people's emotions, to things that are happening that inspire them. And that's maybe like like the first spark, right? Where, okay, I'm a sensitive person. So I'm affected by a lot of things, maybe, I don't want to say stronger than the others, but
Actually, in the normal world, it's considered weaker.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're like, yeah, you take everything so personally, you take like this, they take it as a weaker, but you can say it's stronger though, because you have the capacity to feel the energy around you immediately before everyone else notice.
Yes, yes. I think it's important also to view like the things that are mainly in society viewed as weaknesses, to view them as strength. Like being kind, for example, why should it be viewed as a weakness if it's a strength? Or, like forgiving, why should it be viewed as, something weak if it's really a strength? And I think it's the same for sensitivity. I think sensitivity is a strength, and it's a tool as well, like a tool that helps us be a bit more connected to our own emotions of other people, and that maybe at some point allows us to be creative, which is great.
Like in the Asian world, is more people work together, it's more collective, because they say, because through the connection we are able to solve an issue or problem or whatever there is. And in our society it's all more edgy, like, no, this is my space, this is me, this is who I am. And also in the Asian thing they say, be more round, be less edgy. Because when you're round, no one can grab onto you. If you're edgy, everyone can hold on to you and drag you down.
Yes, that's true. That's wise.
So it's nice to be like yesterday that we had the meeting was a collective thing. We were sitting down talking about the things that we have accomplished so far. It was a very nice feeling. But imagine if you would be someone who's selfish, just like, yeah, but what about my things? Which is horrible. It's something I don't like. I cannot work with people who are so self-focused that they think the whole world is just like around them. They have to be the middle thing, the middle of the world, the point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people, especially in the Western world, don't realize the importance of community, and they're more like, yeah, about the individual, or even like my individual family, my individual need. I'm going to have like this really small circle of like maybe me and my partner and like maybe one or two kids, and that's going to be, my thing. But it's still a little bit individualistic. And I think community is something really powerful that we kind of need as human animals kind of thing,
Definitely.
because I think we're made to be with other people. We're made to be to socialize. It's also certain intelligence that's getting lost, right? Social intelligence that I view like in other country, the social intelligence is so high. And then I go to Germany, I'm like, oh my God, they think they're smart, but like social intelligence
It's
is really
down.
bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's because because of this individualism, and we stop giving importance to like have those communities where we find people who we can identify with, where we can like just create things together, be together, and sometimes also just yeah, just hang out, be with them, look for support, and I think that's what makes us happy at some point. Sometimes when I don't have this for a while, I'm like, oh, I'm missing something. It's not always easy to point out what, and then I'm just having a great evening with my people, and I'm like, wow, I feel so charged with energy. I'm so happy again, and I think probably, I don't know, a lot of Germans would be less grumpy if they they had more community love in their lives.
Probably though. And one other question is, what is your sign?
I'm Pisces.
Pisces. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you identify somehow with the things that are written about it, or?
I have my ups and downs. My mom's in love with astrology. She's like totally into it. She takes classes like canalizing energies of the universe and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Kind of
very much
sounds like
into
my
it.
mom, though.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's amazing. And so sometimes I kind of believe in it. Sometimes I'm like, well, no. I used to hate my sign because everything I always wrote about it was like, oh yeah, they're dreamy, but like people walk on them because they're like, I felt like I was the victim of the zodiac,
Yeah. Okay.
And then I was like, no, actually, there's a lot of like mystic energy in this sign, and there's a lot of yeah, I don't know, creative energy, calmness, yeah. Exactly, like not viewing it as a weakness as I did maybe before, but viewing it as a strength, right? To be like, I don't know, to be kind, to be sensitive, to be dreamy. Why should it be a bad thing?
Definitely.
So yeah, kind of identify.
So does your mom also call you up sometimes, like in the beginning of the year, says, "Listen, these are the news about your sign for this year"? This is what my mom does, though.
Yeah. She does too. Before 2024, she was like, "Oh my God, look! Apparently 2024 is going to be a great year for Pisces," And I can believe it or cannot believe it, but it's kind of giving me good vibes. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be my year.
So that's what my mom tells me too, and then I'm like, okay, mom, I'm gonna work harder. And she's like, yeah, exactly. If you put more work in it, it will work out. Like,
no, okay. That's amazing. What's your sign?
Aries.
Aries. Yeah. All right. So, that's true. It was your birthday.
Yeah, it's so good. Your name, how did it come together?
Cécé, or so my real name is Céline, French name because my mom loved it, and my friends have always called me Cécé since I'm very small. It's like a school thing.
So it was like a nickname.
A nickname, exactly. Okay. It's been my nickname since forever. My artist name is Madame Cécé.
Madame Cécé.
Exactly, because I like kind of combine the French roots within everything. And I kind of like people calling me Cécé because then I feel like they're my friends. Because my friends have been calling me that forever. And I don't dislike Céline. Céline is fine. But I'm always having like this little feeling of warmth when I'm being called Cécé because I identify, like...
a place of home.
Exactly, yeah. It's like only people who love me are calling me Cécé, right? So never like anybody who's mad at me or who's, like hated me would ever call me that. So that's why it's like a safe...
Any projects that people can patiently wait for now to drop in the next month?
Oh, in the next month. I think soon I'm going to release the single that I've recorded from my next IP. It's called The Waves. Yes, the IP called The Cycle. I hope it's going to come out maybe autumn. There's still 3 songs to be, working on. Other things here and there. I'm also currently writing a song. It's probably not going to be on that EP, but maybe I'm just going to bring it out independently. It's called Doctor for the Souls.
Nice, Doctor for the Souls.
Doctor for the Souls.
Okay.
Yes, and it's talking about what I said a bit earlier, like the thing that we have as artists, where we are kind of doctors for the souls because we allow people to connect with their feelings, and it's kind of a personal therapy, and how we can give space for our inner self, for our feelings through art, which sometimes I had some existential crisis, maybe a little bit exaggerated, but I was like, why am I doing art? like, it's like, do I do anything?
Question everything.
Exactly. Does it help anybody? What am I doing this for? And it kind of gave me this meaning. I'm doing this for that because I think artists are kind of doctors for the souls. And the good thing that we're doing in the world is that we are helping people heal through their, helping them express their feelings or like identify with feelings and reconnect with their feelings through any art.
It was beautiful to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And I know I asked you yesterday, and I'm very grateful that you made it. You agreed to it instantly.
Oh.
It's not easy to get all the DNA artists somehow at that time and they say, no, I have to work, I have to do this. I'm like, yeah, okay, so
people be busy.
always.
Yeah. Well,
so
thank you very much for having me. It was fun.
Now you can get up, though.
Yes.
Any last words?
No. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Yeah, see you on the next one.
Yay.
Yeah.